So I think today we are going to try to put on some Motobilt goodies on Mrs. Shoprat's JK build from Copart. Copart, if you don't know what Copart is, that is a auction site for insurance auctions, different states and everything. Of course, there's different rules for different states of what you can do. It just took me a lot of time to learn all these rules the hard way, but I have, for the most part, for my state here in Virginia, good old VA. Anyway, so we're building this thing kind of as a daily driver with a little bit of off-road capability, 35s, all kinds of little things here and there. But that's what we're going to do today, I think. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we have Mrs. Shoprat's JK in the shop here, trying to get the last little bit finished up. Motobilt inner fenders to go on, Motobilt sliders to go on, get rid of that, rinky-dink kind of Nerf bar step. We got everything back from Line-X. Our buddy Ben at Line-X did it all. All the Motobilt was done in Line-X, which is going to slow me down a little bit because I got to go through and just kind of touch up the holes so we can put the bolts through it and everything. Not a huge deal though. Not a concern really. Just a little extra time. So it has the back armor for the corners here from Smittybilt. I wanted to go with Motobilt. The reason we didn't is because Angie, Mrs. Shoprat, she wanted to retain the factory square taillights because she likes them better, to each their own. That's just how it is. So we're going to make an attempt to keep those. Also, the reason we went with these is because there was a bunch of damage here. Obviously, the original top was busted if you've paid attention to any post or anything in the past about this. So pulled a bunch of it out, used a porta jack to push this corner back out, get it formed back up. So the taillight, I have that. Need to put that back in. The filler cap here, I need to just trim this ring a little bit to make it fit properly, and that'll be going back in. But that's the reason we went with this Smittybilt, not the Motobilt corner guards, because she wants to try to retain the factory square tail lights. I have a feeling Motobilt will end up on there just because anybody that's done any type of real wheeling with these knows that these will eventually get pushed in, they'll get bent, then they still end up busting the tail light anyway. So then you'll do the round light conversion. In case you're asking, why am I such a big supporter of Motobilt? Well, number one is because obviously Fender is their lead fabricator, triple OG in the off-road world. Can't really deny that, right? Plus he was my amigo. We co-hosted Truck Night in America together. He's an awesome guy. I still talk to him fairly regularly from time to time. The other reason is Motobilt is 100% American made by blue collar men and women just like you, just like me, putting their heart and soul into what they enjoy and what they love. So that means a lot to me. Makes things more expensive usually, but it means a lot to me. So that's another reason why I support them, because it's 100% American made by people just like us who enjoy wheeling and enjoy this community. So, and the other reason is actually they don't outsource anything. When you buy it from Motobilt, it didn't go through 2 or 3 other companies. It was made in-house at Motobilt. We're going to get this stuff out here. As you can see, open the top up. That's the old busted. That freed top has damage still from where it was in the accident. And you say it was in an accident. It wasn't us that did the accident. This was a Copart buy. The top was completely busted. This corner was pushed in. You could still see a little bit of damage, here and there, little spots where it was in the wreck. The front fenders were busted completely off. And let's see. And we have some rocker damage, and the Nerf step has been ripped off. And we're going to take care of all that. It's another reason went with the Motobilt sliders, dual purpose. 1, to hide damage, and 2, so that way we don't mess nothing up when we go to Trail Hero in October. So give me a minute, I'm gonna get all this stuff out. And I don't know if we're gonna do the inner fenders first, or if I'll try to start on the rock sliders first. Probably the inner fenders, just because I can get both of them done without having to worry about any body damage. Here we go. All right, so wheel and tire off. Bam! Out the way, out the way, out the way. Like I was saying earlier, we do have to do some cleanup, and they look good though, right? All lined out. The holes here to attach to the other section inner fender, we're gonna have to just zip a drill bit through, get that undone so we can put the hardware through. But luckily, Ben's pretty good at what he does. He put these little silicone tabs down there where the threads are for the nut certs. That way, we didn't have to take a tap and chase everything through and worry about messing the threads up. We just gotta zip, zip, clean the holes, slap her on. Let's get to it. All right, so holes cleaned up, not a big deal. That took less than 5 minutes, all the holes. That way we can bolt it all together. We gotta take out a few bolts here. That way we can slap her up on there and see what we got. So I'm gonna get this assembled and we'll come back. Looking good already. Fits like a glove. Good and tight, yeah. So we have the main bolts put in, and this is hardware that Motobilt has provided. You can use the factory bolts that go here, I believe. Anyway, there's 1, 2, 3 holes that they want you to use these little shelf tapping Phillips. I'm not going to use these just because, say I ever have to get these off. I have had problems where these, well, the steel will rust, and we are in good old Virginia, which is in the Rust Belt, because we see all kinds of weather, from hot to cold, a lot of snow, a lot of salt used on our roads, chemicals. So the Phillips will strip out, and then you got this bolt you got to grind out and redo. So I have better luck when I use these. 2 different options. So obviously I'm going to be using the head, which is going to be like a 10mm socket, I believe. And they got the groove, so they really bite in, so they don't back out. Kind of like I'm trying to get the focus. The locking there on the flange of the bolt. I'm going right cha, right cha. So we'll put those in. I like these. They work a lot better in my opinion. Nothing against Motobilt. They do a great job of what they do, but I just, here in the Rust Belt, I've just had better success. When I have to use these self-tappers or something like this, I've just had a lot better luck out of these. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, that's why I like those. Much, much gooder. Much gooder. Digging it, liking it. Now this is gonna suck trying to get to these. Got a little light here so you can see. these two back ones, they're hidden behind the flange. Not just the fender, so to speak, but this is the lip for the fender of the Jeep. So you gotta try to kind of get back in there, maybe a little pilot hole. I might try to use a wobbly socket after I drill a pilot hole, we'll see. But we'll get in there and get her done. And then this side will be done. I like it, I think it look good. We'll get the tire back on there with the wheel, get all the color, see what it looks like all together. All right, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of annoying. I didn't feel like getting the right angle drill out, which I still didn't have enough room, but I have these little tiny drill bits. I was told they were for like doing aircraft stuff, and they go in this little right angle drill, and there would have been enough room probably to get those in there, but I don't like digging it out, it's annoying. So did a little pilot hole in an angle, and then I actually had to break out the electric ratchet here with a really short, you know, little stubby 10mm socket, and zip them right in. But there she be. Now we're gonna get that there wheel on and see what it looks like. All right, then. Man, check that out. That is looking good. I am digging that a lot. So much. So much. Motobilt end fender, all put in on this side. Only thing actually is, there might be some wigglage down there in the corner. And right about there, next to the shock, I might have to make my own brackets. I thought for some reason they came with it. I might have lost them. That might be my fault, I'm not sure. But I don't see any other holes, so that's probably gonna be something I'll have to do myself. I got some aluminum laying around, no big deal, fabricate that. But I left the inner plate there, I left that raw aluminum. Probably have to come in and coat it with something so it doesn't get all messed up this winter. But that just looks sexy. I like that a lot. Got the lining on it for my boy Ben Seville here in Winchester, Virginia. Got it all done up with the Pro Comp, that gold black and then the silver here and there with the bolts and the lug nuts. I think it just sets it off right. I like that a lot. That is looking good. All right, now time for the other side. Bam, side 2 done. I really, really, really like how they turned her out. I think the bang-a-rang, bang-a-rang, bang-a-rang. Digging it a lot. All right, there you go. There you go. Inner fenders are on, looking good, all line X'd out. Next, we need to get this, just off of here. Get that off. I don't know if we're gonna have enough time in this video to do it. I'm trying to keep these kind of short just because if you're like me, your attention span's a little short, a little ADHD thing kind of going on there. But anyway, we have the Motobilt sliders to put on. I gotta take a drill, clean all the holes up, and that's just gonna take some time. So don't think we're gonna do that right now. Plus it's getting late here. I'm getting a little tired, and I think I'm gonna call it quits for the day. But inner fenders are on. If you're interested in those, you can go to shopratmetalworks.com. Part number MB1070, which is actually also the part number for Motobilt, which you can get them direct from Motobilt. I don't care which, I really don't. Go to motobilt.com and you can find them there as well, as well as these sliders that I mentioned earlier. So I think I'm going to call it quits for this evening. I don't know. I might try to tackle this one side because the other side's got some damage I got to take care of first. This is a Copart build. If you don't know what that is, it's an insurance auction company. Anyway, so we've done a lot of work to this thing. I've just started recording some of the stuff that I'm doing to it just to save on time because I only have a few months to get it ready for Angie, aka Mrs. Shoprat, for Trail Hero this October. This should be out there. You know what? I got time. We're going to go ahead and put the slider and step on the driver's side. Let's just do it. We're going to do it. Come on. Now it's time to get the Nerf bar off and bolt all that together so we can try to put it up there, mark the holes for our rib nuts, and see what we got. So without further ado, I'm going to shut my fat mouth and get to it. Let's go. to forewarn you. If you decide to line these things with bed liner, this is how they attach together the two pieces, the step and the guard for the bottom of the rocker, so to speak. They have these kind of like big heavy, you know, almost like nutsert clips that slip onto the one side, and then you have your big Allen's countersunk, and they go in flush like that. But these do not want to slide when you have it lined, and trying to fit the two pieces together, you know, it's friction on friction, you know, latex going together type stuff, and it just, you know, sweaty body and latex just don't go together. Wait, what did that out? Anyway, so those two pieces do not want to slide when you're trying to line it up. Kind of a pain. So be forewarned, if you line these things, have patience, because you're going to need it. Because I might have said a few choice words already, but we edited that out and time-lapsed everything, so we're good. Anyway, moving on. All right, Dan, Nerf bar step thingamabobber is off of there, over yonder. Now back to here. So, to mount this, besides the nutsert, so we have to drill in the side of the body, the bottom piece, the actual slider itself, comes down and uses our cab mounts or body mounts, whatever you want to call them. So we got to take those out real quick, and then we can get it on the jacks and hopefully hold it up here in place so we can mark all of our holes down through there, drill them, put nutserts in, and this side will be done. Here we go. All right, so the GoPro died, I think, so we didn't get any of that. It didn't record, and I didn't have my phone set up recording. But the thing you missed was getting it all jacked up in place. I used the body mount bolts to guide it up. Now I'm just trying to get it lined up exactly where I want it so I can mark all these holes down through here for the nutserts. And I have it to where it's just a scotch in below this line. Excuse me, door open there. When it's all bolted up, so it's just a little bit in below that lip. So I think I need to take this down back here just a little bit more. I can't quite tell. Yeah, right about there. A little bit more gap. Because when it tightens up, it's actually going to pull up a little bit more. So now I got it pretty close where I want it. We'll go ahead and mark our holes, pull the body bolts back out, and then we'll pull the whole assembly back down out of the way, drill the holes, put the nutserts in, and do final bolt up on it. Stoked. Here we go. All right, so all of our holes are marked. And I got the slider down out of the way, so I can just go ahead and drill these. I just took a drill bit while it was up there and just kind of bumped it. Some of them it actually went through. No big deal. I'm going to get the right size drill bit in here in a second. Drill all those holes out, and then Motobilt provides you with these nutserts and all the countersunk Allen head bolts to attach it. And then again, you use those body mounts down underneath to attach it as well. And I got this little cheap nutsert tool off of Amazon. Yeah, everybody goes to Amazon. I'm not trying to be a cheap ass. Anyway, so we'll drill those out, get this thing on now. Oh yeah. Take our drill bit, drill on. Oh, poop. What do we do now? Anyway, the nutsert, if you never used nutsert before, there's plenty of videos on how to use nutserts. One thing I do that I don't know if it really works, it's more in my head type thing, I guess, is I'll take gray silicone or ATV that we normally use, you know, sealing up other things like diff covers or whatever, and I'll put a little thin layer around it, smush it on there, and then I'll, you know, use the tool to crimp it in there and do its thing. But that's one of the little dumb things that I do. So I'll go down the line, drill all these holes, and put the nutserts in, and it'll be time for final assembly. All right, nutserts all in. That is silicone around them. That is something I do. Whether it works or not, know. Can't answer that question honestly, but it's just something that I do. Try to help water and snow and whatnot stay out of there since we are here in Virginia. But with that being said, it is now time to put the slider back up on there. Sweet. All right, there it is. I'm not gonna lie, I had, let's see, which one was it? This guy right here, that nutsert just fought me, ticked me off, and I did some things I'm not proud of. But besides that, it actually went pretty smooth, I thought. I mean, really, I'm not a huge fan of nutserts just because they do give issues from time to time, but as you can see, that going nowhere, at least as a step. Motobilt makes very, very solid products. I preach about them because my homie Bender works there, you know, he's a lead fab guy. Dan's always put out a quality product, and they're 100% American made, right here in the good old US of A by blue collar men and women just like you and I. So, that's why I always preach about Motobilt. But again, the Line-X up on here, and the liner up on here, making it look real good. It's gonna give the kids, you know, Angie and I, Mrs. Shoprat and I, we have our little 8-year-old, excuse me, soon to be 8-year-old daughter, and little man, he's only about 1.5 years, but this will give them traction when they're trying to step up in here. Now, once it hits some rocks, of course it'll gouge and probably tear it up eventually, but that's okay. We'll just take some cheap, you know, bed liner spray can, just spray up underneath there and keep it protected. But that will do. Of course, it goes along very nicely with the Motobilt inner fenders. I'm stoked about this. Just have to do the other side to get it done. Put the taillight back in it. It's almost ready for the inspection process that we have to go through here in VA to bring it back to life from a salvage title, I guess you could say. Making it into a rebuilt title or a reman title, however you want to put it. And I'm sorry about the glare of the lights. All my stuff, the batteries are dying left and right. But yeah, there it is. I think this thing's turning out pretty solid considering it was totaled, the top was busted, the corner was pushed in, but all the plastic fenders were busted off, and we're going to give it some new life, making it look oh so good. We got to do away with the angry grill and the bird bath hood. That's what came on it. That's what it is. For anybody that's kind of noticed, there is Terraflex on here. We didn't buy the Terraflex suspension. It was already on here when we got the Jeep. I'm not sure we're gonna leave it, but it works for the 35s. So I'm not too concerned at the moment. Next thing I have to tackle is that. Now that doesn't look that bad on camera, but it's gonna require a little bit of effort to get that right. So that is the last thing left to do really. And we'll be ready to go through the process of getting this thing going, to get it tagged and insured and all that fun stuff. Everything else is kind of cosmetic and whatever. But there it is. Hope you guys are digging this. I enjoy it. It's turned out better than I thought. So make sure you subscribe, like, notification bell, all that other stuff that people tell you to do. If you want to, do it. If not, I'm not going to be offended. I'm really not. I'm not. I promise. Make sure you check out ShopratMetalworks.com. Shoprat Metalworks. So if you want to get any of these products you've seen, the inner fenders from Motobilt, the sliders, you can get them at ShopratMetalworks.com, or you can go to Motobilt.com, whichever you prefer. Doesn't matter to me, once again. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me I suck. And you always knew I sucked ever since truck night. I don't know. But let me know what you think either way. All right? Hope to see you out there at Trail Hero in October. Peace!